I want to say good morning to everybody, but we do already have our guest speakers on here today. I do still have some people jumping in, so I'm going to be multitasking. Looks like we have a really good turnout today, but we have Skydio. Yeah.
Nice.
How exciting to have you here. We have Nicole Bonk is here to speak with us, and then Devon, and I'm going to say DiPietro. Am I good?
Let's hear it for the girls.
Okay, good.
Let's hear it for the girls.
So I've already bumped
Dating
you
yourself,
over
Kim.
to Spotlight Speakers. So if you want to share your screen or anything like that, you are all good to go.
Awesome. Let me try and share here. I haven't shared in Zoom in a while, so bear with me.
Okay, so I'm going to make you a spotlight for everyone. Okay, Nicole?
Sounds good.
We thank you so much for being here.
I am so excited to be here. I have a slide deck. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, Nicole. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Wait, where are the?
I'm so excited about this because I have a drone training school and I get so many questions about Skydio. So bring it, sister, bring it.
I will bring it. Okay, so let me just minimize this. So quickly, we're going to run through the Skydio solutions, the proven and trusted technology behind it, and then I'll go a little bit into the flight testing aspect that we do, and I'll leave kind of room for open discussion at the end. Oh man, how do I? Oh, there we go. So the agenda, we're going to kind of run through the company background, the basic Skydio mission, our point of view, where we're going with our enterprise solutions, and then kind of our product vision and roadmap. Attendees also Devon, as Desi mentioned as well, on our marketing team. So the company background. So Skydio was founded in 2014 by Abe, Adam, and Matt. They were MIT classmates, basically company heritage. A bunch of us come from Tesla, GoPro, Stanford, Apple, you name it. We just raised 170 million on our last seed, and we design and build all of our drones here, headquartered in Redwood City, California. So the milestone timeline, as I kind of already mentioned, it was a couple of the founders who started MIT research on autonomous flying vehicles and computer vision. They founded Skydio in 2014. From there, we started looking into kind of the Skydio Autonomy V1 version, which ended up being in the Skydio R1, which was launched in 2018. So this was kind of our first like flip phone or start of, if you call the iPhone, of us actually getting into the consumer market. Then we kind of started making our way into the Skydio Autonomy V2, which was kind of better deep learning, real-time prediction, planning, and control. And from there, we happily launched Skydio 2 in 2019. So this is kind of smaller version, longer flight time, faster, you know, all of the better performance aspects than you get out of the Skydio R1. From there, we're starting to kind of move into the enterprise grade autonomy, which we'll get into in a little bit with the 3D scan, house scan, and enterprise app. And in 2020, we're starting to get into creating Skydio X2. So more rugged enterprise commercial solutions, extended range, longer battery life, and dock hopefully in 2021. So teleoperation, full autonomous missions. Just think of like someone wanting to launch and inspect power lines. They could do it from their office, hopefully having some, you know, specified waivers and airspace awareness. So like I stated, we assemble all our products in the US. We develop our own software in-house and launching the Skydio 2 in 2019. So just brief overview, Skydio 2 has 360-degree avoidance. This is awesome, especially for pilots that are just learning how to fly and don't want to crash their new drone. It also comes with other accessories like the beacon and joystick controller, which is pretty awesome. Here's kind of what we launched with, the awesome marketing video. I'll just play this quickly.
Oh, is that one of your peeps on that tight wire?
So I'm just going to stop right there. But I think the biggest thing about this video and what makes it so exciting for me is that it's not piloted by anyone. And these are real people in the real world, all of our influencers, customers getting this content, and they don't have a second person, they don't have a video crew, and it's just them being able to do what they want to do without a pilot and getting this awesome shot with fully autonomous drones and not hitting any sort of obstacle along the way. So I think this is truly a breakthrough in intelligence, and the video kind of proves itself. So time to bring our autonomous flight, like I stated earlier, into other solutions other than the consumer market that we've kind of been striving towards. We start to get into enterprise, defense, and civilian agencies. So inspection, mapping, security, government agencies, you name it. Our mission, so our main mission is to make the world more productive, creative, and safe with autonomous flight. Basically a world where we can be more productive, more efficient, get what we want in a shorter amount of time with the use of drones. A world where first responders could literally just launch the drone and kind of get an aerial view of what's going on, whether it be a fire, a perpetrator, and they don't need to kind of expose themselves in dangerous situations, like kind of the one pictured above. World where soldiers have real-time access. I think this is very important. So instead of kind of going out to see what's ahead, they can just send a drone out into the field to make sure everything is clear before sending actual manpower out there to see. And obviously what you just saw, a drone where you don't need a professional film crew. A more creative world where it's just you solo out there doing what you love without having to worry about someone else following you or getting the shot that you need because you have Skydio along with you. Our point of view. So drones hold a massive promise and positive impact. And this isn't just kind of us. This is really Amazon, look at Google Wing, package delivery, other consumer products. I think drones in itself kind of open up a whole new world of just a more efficient, productive, and safer world where we can do these things without having to kind of risk other people's lives. Just a quick overview. So drones are 10 times more effective and 100 times cheaper and safer than heavy machinery. So let's look at when there's a crash on Route 101, right? They send up a helicopter. Can you imagine the cost reduction of just having to send up a drone? Or tower inspection. So, I mean, so many people get hurt climbing towers every year. Also, the time it takes to climb these towers and inspect every single aspect of it, just sending up a drone to do that in a way quicker time. And also you can send it up more and more knowing that it's, you know, time efficient, safer, and cost effective. And again, bridge inspection. So I didn't know this, but to do bridge inspections, they use this like ridiculous crane truck looking thing, and they have to shut down the bridge in order to kind of get what they want. They have multiple men running this to inspect the bridge. So cutting that reduction cost in 90%. having to keep the bridges open, and they can just fly under them and inspect all the rivets and the bridge infrastructure. So the risk of crashes is the #1 concern among enterprise customers using drones, right? There's lack of autonomy. They're not, used to flying a manual drone. There's also concerns with foreign components, manufacturers, and difficulty sourcing pilots, right? Because, to fly a drone, you need to train someone, and to train someone, you may risk having to crash multiple hardware units of the vehicle. So the true solution in our eyes is autonomy, and that's kind of what Skydio brings to the table. The market is demanding autonomy. So this is just a quote from a UAS program manager in a major US railway. We want to train 100 pilots this year, 200 next year, and 0 pilots in 2022. The evolution of drones, the manual drones have peaked, right? So you kind of started with the age of toys with your RC aircraft, moving on to the age of manual hardware, which is kind of like the first launched DJI drone, GPS based, so it holds position. And then you kind of move into the AI-driven autonomy. Let me see if I can move my little bubble somewhere else. And this is kind of software AI-driven, obstacle avoidance, fully automated workflows, integrated solutions. This basically gives you the option to focus on what your mission is instead of focusing on not crashing the drone. And I think this is super important as we get later into the deck. So autonomy, bottom line. Think of manual drones as kind of like your old school flip phone. Autonomous drones are the new and improved kind of iPhone, smartphone, as you may name it. I won't go into this a little bit, or I'll kind of graze over this, but this is basically a side-by-side of Skydio versus DJI. The architecture, the autonomy, the workflows, the user experience, the cost of ownership, and the supply chain. If you look on the left, we're all green. On the right, X's. I think the major takeaways here from the DJI versus Skydio perspective is the manual flight. You're made in China, you're not sure what you're getting. Very pilot heavy training, complex, extensive training. Again, here's kind of a side-by-side with our other competitors, Parrot, Teal, Vantage, Atlassian. Same thing on the left, your architecture, your autonomy, your workflows, your user experience, cost of ownership, supply chain. And what we kind of bring to the table is the green light in all of these areas. And I think from a commercial enterprise perspective, you really want to make sure that your training is cost effective, where you're getting your manufactured vehicle hardware, is it in the US, all of that stuff. So going into kind of our next area of Skydio Enterprise Solutions, as I stated earlier, part of our Skydio Enterprise Solutions is the Skydio 2, and with the Skydio 2 will come the Enterprise app, obviously being able to control that with the joysticks as well. And then introducing the Skydio X2. So like stated, this is more of the enterprise, commercial, drone, longer range, has night flight, EO, IR camera, way better data capture, you name it. And here's just a quick overview of the Skydio X2 and what we kind of went out to the public with. That's the Skydio X2. Obviously, it's a different body feel. The arms kind of fold in, small, compact. Key features. So we have custom payloads, LT radio, ADS-B, 6 nav cameras. So similar to kind of how Skydio 2 navigates, X2 is basically the same. Low noise props, 6 kilometer range, IR, EO, illumination. And here's just a side-by-side of Skydio 2, which is launch, versus the X2 physical features. So longer flight time, better image quality, night capability, that kind of stuff. So with the Skydio X2, we're launching the Skydio Enterprise Controller. So this is kind of like your clamshell case, take it anywhere, ranges up to 6 kilometers, really nice feel to it. And this is basically what's going to pilot your Skydio X2. And you can see here you have your live video, you have your waypoint missions, you have your map view, and a bunch of other capabilities that are stated on the website. Then we go into the Skydio Enterprise Foundation. So this is available for both the Skydio 2 and the Skydio X2. This is going to give you a bunch of different capabilities and features that the current Skydio consumer app does not give you. So you have your 360 super zoom. This is kind of what's shown in the right-hand side here. Precision mode. So the Skydio 2 is more of like a fun feel versus precision mode is going to have way sharper tuning, let you get up to that structure and not kind of bubble around it, 180 vertical view, so that gimbal kind of goes straight up if you want to do some sort of inspection, like bridge inspection. I'll kind of glaze over this, but we're also introducing 3D scan. So I could play this on the side, but this is basically a skill that we're providing in the Enterprise app. You'll kind of design a waypoint mission around the structure. And what it's going to do is it's going to kind of capture multiple pictures in which you can then upload into kind of a drone dashboard or our own viewer in the future. And it will expose a 3D image of that structure, which is super awesome. Especially we had a guy who does like large truck inspections, and he's beta testing and gave super positive feedback saying they can use this instead of sending multiple people out there to inspect the outside visual inspection of the large truck.
Is that only for the Enterprise?
House scan, another feature that we're providing to Enterprise customers working with Eagle View. This is basically you launch the Skydio 2, you kind of fly it over the center of the roof. It will kind of map out, okay, I see your roof. This is the area. Am I correct? After you press yes, it will kind of start scanning and taking pictures of each individual facet, which is pretty neat. I can kind of play this a little bit for you to show you. It's mapping out the roof, and it starts taking pictures. It gets super close, so you can kind of see, is there any damage going on with my roof facets? Do I need to send someone in to repair them? This is really awesome, and one of kind of my favorite features that we're providing. So that's house scan. Then we get into doc. So on-demand scheduled missions. This is for the people who want to kind of inspect and see progress of either kind of a build site or cables, wires, PG&E, towers, you name it. So this is kind of, you don't have to have someone there all the time. You can just have the dock enable a mission a certain time of day, certain times a week, and they take off and fly this pre-programmed route to inspect the area. So this is kind of my bread and butter, the quality assurance side and the testing. And I have one slide for this, but it's, bear with me, an overview of the process in the view of a garden bed. So quality assurance testing has multiple aspects, and that key on your left-hand side is all of our products broken down. So the Enterprise app, the Skydio 2, the X2, the consumer app, 3D scan. Obviously, there's more here. I just didn't display them. And think of, sorry, some of these lines don't go directly to what they should, but let's think of, you have your infrastructure of the garden bed, and that's your exploratory testing. So in order for us to start designing test plans for Enterprise, for consumer app, we start working directly with the engineers to understand, okay, how is the feature working? Let's start testing it out. What are the settings of a feature? What do we need to start kind of really focusing on and developing our test cases on? So we're kind of just building the infrastructure, starting with exploratory testing. Then we kind of get into the master testing. So that's pointing to the dirt. That's really your soil, what starts to hold all of these different applications. And master testing is super important because that's a very proactive thing that we're doing for testing. So if you don't master test, and that's kind of like your top of tree code, that's where all of these different commits and merges are going to from the engineers. And if we're not master testing on a daily basis, that, let's say master is broken on a Wednesday, all of these software engineers that want to kind of test out their build or want to make sure that their feature on master is working, they're kind of stuck until we find out what the issue is. And so that's kind of like the soil that holds everything together, is a really good, healthy master top tree software. Then within each individual row, you have smoke tests, and the sun is your regression testing. So the sun, I'll go into smoke tests first. So smoke tests are water, right? They're very important. If you don't have water, your crop's going to die. So smoke tests are your P0 and your P1 items. These are the nominal flow that a user runs through with some fail safes and basic feature testing, to making sure everything works as expected. And then you're running your regression testing always consistently in the background. And think of regression testing as like the sun. You want to make sure that your P2s, your P3s, or your dual fail safes are always working. So we're kind of running regression testing in the background always, and running smoke tests more on a weekly basis. And then just like a bumblebee, we're always working with the direct engineering team for support, whether it's a new model, a new feature, you name it. And then the bugs on the bottom right, Jira is obviously what we use to kind of track all of our issues that we find. And then we have the little chicken who's dog fooding. So we have dog fooders, which is basically like a thing in the company where you can send drones home for the weekend, and our employees can test out new features or new apps to help us kind of develop our software and get a different perspective than us testing every single day. So that's kind of an overview of the testing process. And I'll leave that open for any questions anybody may have.
That was fantastic. It's like, sign me up, I want one. So Brenna had a question. Brenna, you want to unmic or unmute yourself? Yeah, ask a question. I saw several, and I saw Devon addressing some of them as they came up, but.
Thanks, Devon.
Yeah, I was just wondering how Skydio is taking their wonderful, X2 and getting it into the hands of the public safety, first responders, just making sure that they get these, because obviously we're kind of going away from the DJI that Chinese built. So want something that's USA, we want to know, like, how are you going to get that to them?
Yeah, really, really, really good question. So we have obviously we have the marketing team who is divided into different aspects: federal, consumer, and enterprise. And then, so they're kind of looking to see, okay, what customers are really, how can these customers use our X2? But then we also have our customer success team. And part of the customer success team is the federal side. So we have a Chula Vista chief officer who is retired, and he basically goes out, demos this to police departments, fire departments, and he's making sure, hey, this is how we can, better your life. This is how you can use the drone. And we actually did, I think Devon could speak to this a little bit more. We gave away a bunch of Skydio 2s to police force and other agencies to say, like, this is how you can use the drone, and try it out and let us know how, what the feedback is. Devon, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely have a whole team of people that are focused on those agencies specifically. And if you are interested, please do reach out, and we'd be more than happy to get you connected with that team. I see you there. Yeah, our teams are really looking at what are the safest and best solutions across each of those organizations, and we're doing everything we can to get in touch with them. So, we're a small business over here, still getting started. So any leads you guys have are more than appreciated.
Okay, what about academia? Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
My question.
I'm sorry?
I was talking to Desi. She stole my question.
Oh,
And you guys stole Fritz.
yeah.
Fritz, yes, we still Fritz.
Yeah. Yes, I would say we're also looking at academia and different ways that we can I guess, insert our solutions into, whatever it is that people need that support with. And again, if you have avenues and contacts or people that you think this would be beneficial for, please do reach out to me, and I'd be happy to get everybody connected.
All right. We also had another question in there from Linda. Linda, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question, or you want me to just read it?
Here I am. Good morning. Can you give me an idea on price ranges for somebody who's never looked at your website or shopped them?
Devon, this is your bulk and butter.
Yeah, for sure. So Skydio 2 is available now for pre-order or for, I guess, to reserve a spot on our wait list for batch 5, which are shipping. Batch 5 will start shipping in December. And the starting price is $9.99 for the Skydio vehicle with starter kit. And then from there, we have a variety of kit upgrades to help get you the solutions that you need. So a couple of the other accessories, Nicole touched on the fact that we do have a controller, but one of our other big key differentiators is the beacon. And the beacon is really what helps to empower and allow for that just insane autonomous flight to be able to track you via GPS. So depending on what you want to be using the drone for would sort of indicate what some of those additional products are that you might decide to add on. So really the price range can run from $9.99 all the way up to, how many batteries do you need? Up to, $2,000, $2,500 is what our Pro Kit comes with, which does also include ND filters and added premium support. The X2 is not quite available just yet, but our teams are talking with those enterprise and Fed customers who would be eligible and who would be interested, but that is going to come in at a much higher price range than the S2.
Okay.
What makes them American made? I mean, are they manufactured in America? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So it is all assembled here in Redwood City with our teams on site at our headquarters. So that is what makes it American made, is that it is entirely assembled in the US, as well as all of our software solutions are developed in-house here in the US.
So congratulations to Skydio for, the demand that's been out there. And congratulations to your team for, the success that you guys have had. It's like awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kim. We're excited.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So I see a couple more questions up in there. If we want to address them really quick, and then we'll bump over to our breakout session. We have one from Eric and we have one from Chris. Chris, do you want to go ahead, and then we'll circle back to Eric really quick?
Yes, thank you. I was just wondering if the Skydio 2 is fully approved to operate on federally owned facilities.
It's a good question. So I guess Devon, we're working with the Army right now to we're already approved and we're in the running for this small UAS Army contract on 1.8 gigahertz. So as far as the manufacturing and the safety and the certification behind it, I'm pretty sure it's 100% approved. I'm not sure about waivers or anything else that you need specifically if you want to fly, depending on the government agency on the actual land.
Thank you. We have an educational partnership with NASA. I'm just wondering if you've had any conversation with NASA about flying on their center property.
I don't honestly believe we have at all, Chris. But if you want to email me afterwards, we can follow up on that. I don't believe we've had any discussion working with NASA directly with us yet.
So I did put your information into the chat. So I highly recommend that you save the chat And then that way you can do a follow-up on it. If you want to add your own information in there again or anything, Devon or Nicole, feel free to do that. But I posted it in there because I know we do have a lot of questions. Eric, I'll throw this one back out to you, but we need to be really fast so we have time in the breakout room, okay?
Sure. I was just asking if you have any kind of an educational program for middle school drum clubs and things like that.
So I actually was on a call yesterday talking about a program that is operated down out of Texas. We don't have anything official as of yet, and we're still sort of researching, what are those programs and what are the ways that we can best support them. If you have any ideas or programs that we should be aware of, I'd be happy to learn more about them. I just started with Skydio within the past few months, and our marketing team is just now hitting the ground running. So programs like that are all in development, and we're excited to be having the opportunity to continue to expand.
Thank you.
All right, so we could go on for a very, very long time with the questions, but we need to get into our breakout room. So I recommend that you put your information in there, and that way we can circle back and reach out to each other. We can't thank you enough, Nicole and Devon, both of you. Fantastic information. Everybody's excited. Yes, I agree. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Desi. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for having us.